Okay, morning everyone. Nice day out there. Already a reasonable sized grid, isn't it?
Yeah, at least 35.
At least 35. Okay. Sounds like it's going to be a good day. People know what they're talking about when they start gridding at this time in the morning at 8 o'clock. So what have we got weather-wise? I suppose you could call it a small ridge of high pressure, high well to the north of us, north of Scotland, and just bringing in very, very light at the moment, easterly, northeasterly airflow, certainly an unstable air mass. You can see the spacing on the isobars reasonably wide, so the wind's going to be lightish, 5 to 10 knots of flying heights. And this little cold front they're showing here, currently on the infrared, you can see it sort of sat over the North Sea, northeast England area. Certainly not going to be a feature for us, but one or two of the TAFs that do a 24-hour TAF are saying by the time we get to sort of overnight, this will get down to the south of England and clear us with a little bit of rain maybe. So TAFs themselves, Farnborough fairly short. It's not giving Cav okay, but it says variable 3 knots. Less than 10 kbs, and you can see becoming sometime this morning all the 9s. One or two places giving sort of no cumulus during the day, but most places actually are. So Gatwick are saying Cav okay, but Heathrow, as you can see down the bottom here, few 4,000 feet. And Southampton, exactly the same, few at 4.5. So slightly sort of conflicting forecasts. I think there will be cumulus, certainly here for most of the day, and more of it certainly going north and east. Upper winds, well, middle of the country, a little bit light and variable, but 5 knots. I think down over us, more like about 10 from 080090, so pretty much directly easterly, but not strong compared to last week. SatPic only really shows the sort of fog burning back over the course of the last hour or two, and that'll burn off fairly quickly, but I think it could well linger in the Midlands for quite a while. So we could find it doesn't actually get soarable in that area till sometime this afternoon, Birmingham north. But it's clearing here, temperatures building quite nicely. Max temp today, BBC suggesting 14, 15, so a bit warmer than it suggests here. And that's what I've been going with over a reasonable area, the southern half of England. So certainly they were suggesting London and Cardiff, about 15 degrees. So dew points, they're about 4s and 5s at the moment, should go down to about 1, so maybe even less. So pretty good temperature split. Certainly if it goes down to 0 or less than that, then you've got a sort of very, very good day. Soundings, this is round here. Don't take this as cloud base. So basically I've plumbed in sort of 14 degrees here, and with dew points around about 2, you're looking at 4.5 above Lasham, cloud tops about 6.5, and a reasonable amount of cloud in this area, 4 to 6 eighths probably. Further north, the lines are a bit closer together up through here, and it does suggest that on top Medio that there's more cloud going further north and not quite so high. This is Buckingham area, plugging in the numbers with a dew point of about 2, still 4,000 feet, but lots of cloud between 4 and 6.5 thousand. And the picture gets a little bit better later on, but still showing an inversion here, and that sort of is picked up on the actual Larkhill ascent, it shows that there's a reasonably strong inversion. That's probably where the fog and mist were trapped. Once we get to 10, 11 degrees, that'll be broken. Then sort of 12 degrees, it'll be going quite nicely. And I think once it does pop, it'll go reasonably high. You see this inversion here. What will happen is this line here will just move slightly to the right, and that'll slowly disappear during the day, but it'll be enough to sort of keep a lid on the cloud. I don't think it's going to be too much spread out around here, but certainly a chance of it further north and east, I suspect. So what are Top Medio saying? This is 11 o'clock, perhaps getting going here. I think it might be around then, maybe a little bit later than that. There's this hole in the Midlands. I do suspect that it will be an hour or two later in the Birmingham area before it really kicks off, looking at that thick fog. And then 1,1300 meters by midday, so 4,000 feet. And as the afternoon goes on, they're showing 16, 17, maybe 1,800 meters, so 5,000 feet around here. Lower in the sort of Cambridge area out towards the northeast, but still looks pretty reasonable into the West Country. Be quite nice in that direction. And it's towards the end of April, so day should be good till 6 o'clock, hopefully. That's 4 o'clock local time, still 16, 1,700 meters, and then beginning to fizzle out very late afternoon. So cloud amounts, this is where it gets a little bit odd. So by 11 o'clock, they're showing it blue here, and I would have thought if this is the low cloud, it should have started to dissipate by now, certainly by 11, and temperatures should have been rising in that area, but perhaps not as quickly as down here. They're showing cumulus in the Cambridge area. I think we're going to get cumulus here by sort of 12, 1 o'clock. But what they're showing in the sort of area up past Oxford in towards Cambridge is cumulus and spread out. Yes, the ascents looked a bit different up in that area, but fine around us and out to the west and out to the northwest. And I think we're going to see cumulus in our area, that's for sure, by that time. And then I think it's a slightly different air mass, perhaps drifting down this way later in the day. And they're showing sort of 4 to 6 eighths. They call it cumulus congested, 4 to 6 eighths Q. So should be a good day, folks. Certainly fairly high cloud bases, 4,500 to 5,000 feet, according to the ascents. And hopefully it'll get going mid to late morning. Right, suggested distance, go for 18-meter distance. There's your picture. Takes your choice, really. Good into the west of England. Should be okay into Wales. I'd be a little bit sceptical about too far north and east. Certainly early on, maybe later in the day. Temperature sort of has picked up there. But I think it's always going to be a bit behind us because of that thick fog in the Midlands. But, a reasonable forecast. And it looks quite nice for tomorrow. And okay on Thursday. So good run of weather by the looks of it. Right, local airspace and flying cross country. Well, not really a lot going on. Number 17 is us. We've no time that we're active and busy. 19 and 20, there's parachuting. The danger area, Everley danger area here to the north, has been raised to 13,000 feet, and there's parachuting in there during the day. The ones of note, there's parachuting at Bryce here, and that's 11:30 to 12:30 local. 27 and 32 just events and paragliding, nothing to particularly worry about. And again, these are all paragliding down here. Article dropping down south of Bournemouth over the coast. And number 34 up near Husbos is the aerobatics at Sywell, 1500 to 1520 local. So really that is about it, folks. Not a lot going on. It may seem there's lots of little dots, but they're all paragliding and paramotors. No time those. So fairly quiet, really. Operationally, we've got a reasonable sized grid on the runway now. So what we'll be doing is we're launching the grid from the runway. We'll have a winch launch point just near the 2EE control tower around about here. I'll set that up fairly shortly. And the winch will be in this area here next to the runway. Cables towed across the grass. Once the grid's launched, we'll move everything back onto the runway and have a fairly standard setup with the launch point vehicle around the markers here. Gliders on the south for winching on the south side of the runway and aero towing from the north side of the launch point vehicle. No jet movements. Certainly no flight plans that we've seen this morning, so they won't be an issue. We'll just get going when we can with the grid, and then we'll coordinate between winching and grid launching as we go. And hopefully see you out there.